Welcome back. This is Brittany Sunshine with SeedSoilWater, and we are going through the last portions of how to actually do these meditation steps in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. There's a whole playlist. If you have not listened to the whole thing, definitely go to the beginning because the groundwork is so worthwhile. And let's get into it right now. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh. So we're at this one. Step 3, admitting and declaring. Admitting, acknowledge your true self rather than the self that you show to other people. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable, you move beyond the realm of your senses and begin to introduce yourself to the universal consciousness that is the giver of your life. You develop a relationship with this greater intelligence, telling it who you have been and what you want to change about yourself, and admitting what you've been hiding. Owning up to who we really are and what our past mistakes have been and asking to be accepted are among the most challenging things for us to do as humans. Think of how you felt as a child when you had to fess up to your parents, a teacher, or a friend. Have those feelings of guilt, shame, and anger changed now that you're an adult? Most likely you still experience them, but maybe not as strongly. What makes achieving step 3 possible is knowing that we are admitting our faults and failures to our higher power and not to another similarly flawed human. As a result, when we admit to ourselves and to that universal power, there is no punishment, no judgment, no manipulation, no emotional abandonment, no blame, no scorekeeping, no rejection, no loss of love, no damnation, no separation, no banishment. All of these preceding acts are derived from the old paradigm of God, which has been shrunk to the likeness of an insecure man, completely self-absorbed, steeped in the concepts of good and bad, right and wrong, positive and negative, success and failure, love and hate, heaven and hell, pain and pleasure, fear and more fear. This traditional model must be addressed because one must enter this consciousness with a new consciousness. Word. This enigma can be called innate intelligence, chi, divine mind, spirit, the quantum, the life force, infinite mind, infinite intelligence, the observer, universal intelligence, the quantum field, invisible power, mother, father, life, cosmic energy, or higher power. Regardless of what name you give it, you must see this energy as an unlimited source of power within you and around you, which you utilize and create from throughout your life. It is the consciousness of intent and the energy of unconditional love. It is impossible for it to judge, punish, threaten, or banish anyone or anything because it would be doing those very things to itself. It only gives in love, compassion, and understanding. It already knows everything about you. It's you who has to make an effort to know and develop a relationship with it. It has been observing you from the moment you were created. You are an extension of it. It only waits in hope, in admiration, and in patience. It only wants you to be happy. And if you are happy being unhappy, that's fine too. That's how much it loves you. This self-organizing invisible field is wise beyond comprehension because it exists through an interconnected matrix of energy that extends in all dimensions in space and time, past, present, and future. It records the thoughts, desires, dreams, experiences, wisdom, evolution, and knowledge from all of eternity. It is an immense, immaterial, multidimensional field of information. It knows much more than you and I do, even though we think we know it all. Its energy can be likened to many levels of frequency, and like radio waves, every frequency carries information. All of life on a molecular level vibrates, breathes, dances, shimmers, and is alive. It is completely receptive and malleable to our willful intentions. Let's suppose you want joy in your life, so you ask the universe for it every day. However, you've memorized suffering into such a state of being that you whine all day long. You hold everyone responsible for the way you feel. You make excuses for yourself, and you mope around constantly feeling sorry for yourself. Can you see that you can declare joy all you want, but you are demonstrating being victim? Your mind and body are in opposition. You are thinking a certain way one moment, and then you are being something else the remainder of the day. Hence, can you humbly and sincerely admit who you have been, what you have been hiding, and what you want to change about yourself so that you eliminate unnecessary pain and suffering before you create the related experiences in your reality? To vacate and lay down your familiar personality for a brief period of time and knock on the door of the infinite in a state of joy and reverence is so much more conducive to change than allowing your personality to be fractured by your insistent course of destiny created by who you were repeatedly being. Let's change in joy instead of changing in pain. Opportunity to write. So this is a journaling prompt. Close your eyes, become still. Look into the vastness of this mind, into yourself. Begin to tell it who you have been. Develop a relationship with that greater consciousness that is giving you life by honestly and inwardly talking to it. Share with it the details of those stories that you have carried around with you. Writing down what comes to you will be useful in later steps. Examples of what you might want to admit to this universal intelligence. I'm afraid of falling in love because it hurts too much. Word. I pretend that I'm happy, but I'm really suffering because I am lonely. I do not want anyone to know that I feel so guilty, so I lie about myself. I lie to people so that they like me and so I won't feel so unloved and unworthy. I can't stop feeling self-pity. I think, act, and feel this way all day long because I do not know how else I can feel. I have felt like a failure most of my life, so I try extra hard to be a success. Now take a moment and review what you have written and what you want to admit to this power. Declaring, outwardly acknowledge your self-limiting emotion. In this part of the meditation process, you actually speak out loud who you have been and what you have been hiding about yourself. You tell the truth about yourself, put the past to rest, and close the gap between how you appear and who you really are. You give up your facade and the constant effort of being someone else. By declaring the truth about yourself out loud, you are breaking the emotional ties, agreements, dependencies, attachments, bonds, and addictions to all of those external cues in your life. In the workshops that I conduct around the world, this is the most difficult part of the steps. No one really wants anyone to know who they really are. They want to maintain how they appear. However, as you've learned, it takes an enormous amount of energy to keep up this ongoing image. This is the point where you want to release that energy. And remember, since emotions are energy in motion, everything that you've experienced and interacted with in your external life has an energetic emotion attached to it. Essentially, you are bonded to some person, thing, or place by an energy that exists beyond time and space. This is how you continually remember yourself as an ego with a personality, identifying emotionally with and being tied to everything in your life. For example, if you hate someone, that hate keeps you emotionally attached to that other person. Your emotional bond is that energy that keeps this individual in your life. So you can feel hate and thus reinforce one aspect of your personality. In other words, you use that person to stay addicted to hatred. By the way, it should be obvious by now that your hatred is primarily hurting you. As you release chemicals from your brain to your body, you truly hate yourself. To speak the truth about yourself out loud in this step empowers you to become free from hatred and less connected to the person or thing in your external reality that reminds you of who you have been. If you recall the gap discussed earlier, you know that most people rely on the environment to remember themselves as a somebody. Therefore, if you have memorized an emotion as part of your personality and you're addicted to it, then when you declare who you have been emotionally, you are calling energy back, releasing it to you from your emotional bonds with everything and everyone in your life. This conscious statement by you will free you from the old self. In addition, by claiming your limitations and consciously revealing what you have been hiding, you are freeing the body from being the mind. And for that reason, you are closing the gap between how you appear and who you really are. When you verbalize who you have been, you also liberate energy stored in your body, and this will become free energy for you to use later on in the meditation to create a new self and a new life. Bear in mind that your body will not want to do this very readily. Your ego automatically hides this emotion because it doesn't want anyone to know the truth about itself. It wants to remain in control. The servant has become the master, but the master now must let the servant know that he or she has been delinquent, unconscious, and absent. So it makes sense that your body will not want to relinquish control because it doesn't trust you. Wow, interesting. But if you just open your mouth and speak out in spite of the body's control, it will begin to feel lighter and relieved, and you will begin to be back in command. This is how you define who you really are without any associations to your external environment. You are severing your energetic bond to the emotional attachment of all of the elements in the outer world. If admitting is an inner acknowledgement, then declaration is an outward one. Okay, if admitting is an inner acknowledgement, then declaration is an outward acknowledgement. What is it that you want to declare? It's time to merge this part of step 3 with the previous part. Remember that you're building this section into one fluid process. Using the example of anger, you might say out loud, I have been an angry person my whole life. Remember the general aim of what you want to declare. In this part of your meditation for the week, while you are sitting up with closed eyes, you'll open your mouth and softly say the emotion that you are declaring, anger. While you prepare yourself to do this, and while you are engaged in verbalizing your declaration, it probably will not feel good to you. Do it anyway. That's your body talking to you. Your end result is that you are inspired, uplifted, energized. Make this step simple, easy, and lighthearted. Do not overanalyze what you've done. Just know that the truth shall set you free. Remember that you're not ready to start your week 2 meditations yet. In this section, you've recognized an unwanted emotion and its corresponding state of mind that you want to unmemorize. Then you admitted it inwardly, declared it outwardly, and there's one more step to read, after which you can put all of these together in your week 2 meditation. Step 4, surrendering. Okay, surrendering, yield to a greater power and allow it to resolve your limitations or blocks. Surrendering is the final step in this section, in which you are pruning away the habit of being yourself. Most of us struggle with the idea of letting go, of allowing someone or something else to have control. Keeping in mind whom you are surrendering to, the source, infinite wisdom, should make this process go much easier. Einstein said that no problem could be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. The limited state of mind of your personality is responsible for creating your limitations, and the answer has not come to you. So why not go to a grander, more resourceful consciousness to help you overcome this facet of yourself? Since all potentials exist in this infinite sea of possibilities, you are humbly asking to take your limitations from you in a different way than the mode in which you have been trying to resolve this issue. Since the best way to transform yourself has not occurred to you, and what you have been doing up to this point to overcome the problems in your life has not worked out yet, it's time to contact a greater resource. The consciousness of the ego can never see the solution. It is steeped in the emotional energy of the dilemma, and therefore it only thinks, acts, and feels equal to the mind. It only creates more of the same. Your change will be executed in a way that is unlimited from the objective mind's perspective. It sees you from the perspective of not being you. It perceives potentials that you have not been thought of because you were too busy being lost in the dream by responding to life in predictable ways. However, if you say that you have surrendered to the objective consciousness's assistance, yet still try to do things in your own way, can you see that it is impossible for it to assist you in changing anything in your life? By your own free will, you would thwart its efforts. Most of us obstruct this mind because we go back to trying to resolve our problems by living within the same unconscious, habitual lifestyle. We get in our own way. In fact, most of us wait until the ego is driven into the ground to the point that we can no longer continue business as usual. This is when we usually surrender and receive some type of aid. You can't both surrender and try to control the outcome. Surrender requires that you give up what you think you know from your limited mind, especially your belief about how this problem in your life should be taken care of. To truly surrender is to let go of the ego's control, trust in an outcome that you haven't even thought of yet, and allow this all-knowing, loving intelligence to take over and provide the best solution for you. You must come to the understanding that this invisible power is real, it's fully conscious of you, and can completely take care of any aspect of the personality. When you do, it will organize your life in a way that is just right for you. When you ask for help by simply releasing to a greater mind the emotion you have admitted and declared that you want to have, When you ask for help by simply releasing to a greater mind the emotion you have admitted and declared, you won't have to bargain, beg, make deals, commit halfway, manipulate, weasel, ask forgiveness, feel guilty or shameful, live with regret, suffer from fear, provide excuses. Moreover, you won't have to give your higher mind conditions like you should and it would be better if. You can't tell this unlimited grand essence how to go about anything. If you do, you're back to trying to do things your way, and naturally it will stop helping you so as to allow you your free will. Instead, can your free will be thy will be done? Just surrender in sincerity, in humility, honesty, certainty, clarity, passion, and trust, and then get out of the way. Joyously give up the emotion that you want to let go of to a more expanded mind, and know that you know that you know. I'll never forget that. Know that you know that you know. It will do this for you. When your will matches its will, when your mind matches its mind, and when your love of self matches its love for you, it answers the call. The side effects of surrender include inspiration, joy, love, freedom, awe, gratitude, exuberance. When you feel joy or live in a state of joy, you have already accepted that the future outcome that you want as a reality. When you live as if your prayers have already been answered, this greater mind can do what it does best by organizing your life in new and unusual ways. What if you knew some of the issues that you are facing had been completely taken care of? What if you were certain that something exciting or great was about to happen to you? If you knew it without a doubt, there would be no worry, no sadness, no fear, no stress. You would just be lifted. You would be looking forward to your future. If I told you that I was taking you to Hawaii in a week and you knew that I was serious, wouldn't you start to get happy in anticipation? Your body would begin to physiologically respond ahead of the actual experience. Well, the quantum mind is like a big mirror. It reflects back to you what you accept and believe as true. So your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. The most important synaptic connection you can make when it comes to this mind is to know that it is real. It is real, yo. I've lived this life for real. Think about how a placebo works. You know by now that we have 3 brains that allow us to evolve from thinking to doing to being. Often subjects with health issues who are given a sugar pill that they think is medicine accept the thought that they are going to get better, and they begin to act as if they are better, and they begin to feel better, and finally they are being better. And as a result, the subconscious mind within them, which is connected to the universal mind all around them, I can feel you all around me, thickening the air I'm breathing. Okay. As a result, the subconscious mind within them, which is connected to the universal mind all around them, begins to change their internal chemistry to mirror their new belief about their restored health. The same principle applies here. Believe that the quantum mind will answer your call and will help you. If you begin to doubt, to become anxious, worried, discouraged, or overanalyzing how the assistance is going to happen, you've done everything that you originally accomplished. You have undone everything that you originally accomplished. You got in your own way. You blocked something greater from helping you. Your emotions demonstrated that you disbelieved in quantum possibilities, and therefore you lost your connection to the future that the divine mind was orchestrating for you. This is when you have to go back, reinstate a more powerful frame of mind. Talk to the quantum mind as if it knows you very well, loves you, and cares for you, because it does. So here's an opportunity to write in your journal. In anticipation of this conversation, write down some things that you would like to say in your surrender statement. So here's an example of a surrender statement. Universal mind within me, or you could call it like, what does Joseph Murray call it? He calls it the infinite intelligence. I forgive my worries, my anxieties, and my small-minded concerns, and I give them to you. I trust that you have the mind to resolve them much better than I could. Arrange the players in my world so that doors open for me. Innate intelligence, I release my suffering and my self-pity to you. I have mismanaged my inner thoughts and actions for long enough. I allow you to intervene and provide a greater life in a way that is just right for me. Prepare to surrender. Now close your eyes and begin to become familiar with what you want to say to this greater mind. Review what you have written so that you can take your limitations to it. The more present you are, the more focused you can become. As you begin to inwardly recite your prayer, remember that this invisible consciousness is watchful and aware of you. It notices everything that you think, do, and feel. Ask for help and turn over your unwanted state of mind. Next, ask the universal consciousness to take this part of you and reorganize it into something greater. Once you do, then hand it over to this higher mind. Some people mentally open a door and pass it through. Others hand it over in a note, while some place it in a beautiful box, then let it dissolve into the higher mind. It doesn't matter what you imagine, just simply let it go. What matters is your intention, that you feel connected to a very loving, universal consciousness, and that you begin to become free from your old self with its help. The more purposefully you are able to manage your thoughts, and the more you can feel the joy of being free from this condition, the more you are matching a greater will, its mind, and its love. Give thanks. Once you've completed your prayer, remember to give thanks ahead of time for this manifestation. When you do, you're sending a signal into the quantum field that your intention has already come to fruition. Thankfulness is the supreme state of receivership. Okay, I'm going to leave that here and we're going to get back on the next one. I'm excited. Be blessed, be well, be free.